Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me today for another Twilight Zone video in my Twilight Zone ranking series where I rank every episode of the original Twilight Zone from my least favorite to my favorite. Today I'm going to be talking about number 121, A Quality of Mercy, written by Rod Serling based on an idea by Sam Rolfe. This episode was directed by Buzz Kulik. This is a season 3 episode, and as always, there will be spoilers. So, A Quality of Mercy has an interesting premise. The execution of the episode, I think, is a little bit strange, but overall, this is still a pretty decent episode. So, the premise of this one is there's a lieutenant, Cattell, I believe is his name, and he's just arrived near the end of World War II. Kind of towards the end of a battle, I believe, and he wants to attack soldiers at the end of the war, but the other members of his group don't seem too eager to do so. He can't understand why, but then his perspective changes when he has a Twilight Zone moment and he gets to experience the war from the opposing side. Now, Dean Stockwell's performance is interesting in this episode. I'll say, and I'll get more into that in a bit. The supporting actors are okay. It is kind of cool to see Leonard Nimoy in a supporting role in this episode. That was kind of interesting. So things I like about this episode. I really like the concept. The message is great, about showing maybe mercy to people in tough situations, maybe thinking before you act, maybe putting yourself in others' shoes. Those are all valid messages. And although the first part of the episode is just set up where we get to know Cattell and the other characters, I thought it was done pretty well. It was a little slow, but I thought it was interesting enough for as far as setups go. Then things get kind of weird. So this lieutenant drops his binoculars and somehow he transforms into a soldier on the other side of the war. And this is never explained, which is okay. This is the Twilight Zone. I don't need everything explained. But what's strange about this is that the same actor, Dean Stockwell, plays both roles. And I think maybe this was done so the audience could relate much easier to the character, kind of on both sides of things. But the performance of Dean Stockwell here is just kind of weird. And it's not really that convincing, and it's even a little strange, almost uncomfortable to watch, and it is distracting and somewhat takes me out of the episode just a little bit. Also, the ending is very predictable, although it is mostly effective. So basically, Cattell's attitude changes, and now he understands the quality of mercy because he got to see things from both sides. So I really like the message of this episode. The ending does have some impact, but there's just some strange choices and strange execution in this episode. And, the episode is a bit slower paced as well. So overall, I have mixed feelings on A Quality of Mercy, and it's just kind of an average episode for me. Even if it is kind of an important one, and that's why it's number 121 on the list. As always, feel free to leave a comment on A Quality of Mercy. I'd be very interested to see what others think of this episode and the way the execution of it was set up. And as always, thank you very much for watching.